What's up, EV Clan, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Red Randomizer Nuzlocke, where today we will be taking on the first gym once again, and hopefully, fingers crossed, beating it. So we're going in. I think we have potions. I think I bought potions at the end of the last episode, just to make sure. I will check. Oh, we have a full restore. I never noticed that we picked up that. I guess because we didn't buy it in the shop, clearly we cannot at this point in the game, so we must have picked it up in the forest as like a randomized item, because, once again, just as a reminder, items are randomized in this file. So here we go, going into battle with Brock for the third time in this series, and hopefully the last. Sorry, going into battle with Donna. Donna sends out a Poliwag, to which I respond sending out my coughing. I think the best... Whoops. That is not what I meant to do. Let's see how much Tackle does. Okay. I'd imagine Smog would do more. That does an okay amount of damage, though. Bubble is not doing that much. I think that we can take quite a few of those. As long as it doesn't have anything else, I think that we can take this thing out before having to heal or switch out, which is good. Well, not if we miss Smog continuously. Let's hope that's the only miss that we have to deal with. Oh, okay, yes. Yes, for a second I thought I missed again. Another Smog. First of all, have to take that bubble. And then it's our turn once again. Our speed is going down, is something I noticed. And I think that in this generation, missing is determined by speed. So I think that might be why we're missing so much, is that our speed is being lowered, and therefore our accuracy is in some way being lowered. I don't quite understand how it works, but I'm pretty sure if his speed is depending on how much higher his speed is than ours, he will have an easier or harder time dodging. And I feel like since our speed is being lowered so significantly, it is getting easier and easier for him to dodge. However, we take the Poliwag out, and Andrew levels up, which is great. And Machoke is coming out. Okay. So we're gonna switch out our coughing. I mean, okay. Machoke is a heavy hitter. I hope Vaporeon can take this. But if they can't, I think that it might be a good idea to go to Andrew. Like, heal up Andrew and go to that Pokemon, because Andrew is poison type, so fighting type moves would be not very effective. We should definitely hit them on the special side, because Machoke is pretty defensive. And this is a stab water gun, so this will do much more than the tackle. It got a critical hit too, that's great. How do we take the slow kick? Okay. Okay, that's decent. I think we take it out without using any healing items. Okay, yes, that's awesome. And Machoke goes down, and just like that, we reclaim our first badge. Sorry, Donna, you lose. So, anyway. When I was going through my Pokemon Flora Sky team, when I was talking about my Pokemon Flora Sky team, I noticed that I didn't say that I had a Shaman, but I did. My Shaman in that game was actually shiny, and her name was Falda. Yes, I did. I will say it's a she, even though, like, obviously it's a legendary, so the gender is unknown. But sorry if I default to certain genders for legendaries, but I do just see them as having certain genders, like, depending on the legendary. And obviously, like, the gender is listed as unknown in Pokemon, so that doesn't mean that the Pokemon has no gender. Like, let's be clear, there is a difference between genderless Pokemon and gender unknown Pokemon. So if the Pokemon's gender is unknown, I was gonna say assume, but now that feels wrong. If I word it like that, that doesn't seem correct. I'm just gonna say that I will call a Pokemon by a gender because I don't have the ability to ask the Pokemon. And Falda, I'm sorry, is just like objectively quite female-oriented as a Pokemon design. So I did name it Falda because that is like the most female-oriented word I can say in Spanish, short of just like mujer. So yeah, we move on down the route. And yeah, I think that the shiny odds are tremendously increased in Pokemon Flora Sky, at least for the Shaman, because I saw someone else get a shiny Shaman, and I'm like, there's no way that I got a shiny Shaman and this person also got a shiny Shaman. And like, they reset for it, and they got it in like 5 tries, so I'm guessing it's like really easy to get the Shaman Shiny in Pokemon Flora Sky. Like, I just had to look it up. When I got the Shiny Shaman, I was like, what? A Shiny? I got the Legendary of this game as a Shiny? But yeah, it was actually, I believe it is quite common. It is just fun. Like, okay, maybe I would, like, how often do you get to use a Shaman? How often do you get to use a Shiny Shaman? Like, I do consider that really, I do factor that into, like, when I'm building a team. If I get a Shiny Pokemon, like, that has a pretty high chance of going on a team, usually, I think. Like, I do definitely debate over it, depending on what point of the game I'm in. Like, if I have an empty team slot, and I find a Shiny, then it might be going on the team. Just because, like, I wanna see that. Like, every battle I go into, I wanna see, like, my Shiny. I wanna have that on my main team. I want that to be my ride or die, my Shiny. And I think it's like I think that is like, isn't that different enough, you know? Like, I don't like reusing Pokemon, but if it's like, in one playthrough or something, I used this Pokemon, and then in another playthrough of it, I used this Pokemon as a Shiny, I feel like that's different enough, to the point where it warrants a usage. Yes, I didn't have Golbat, that wacky sprite that I talked about previously. Also, sorry if you hear me, like, blowing my nose a little bit, because I'm not feeling quite well today. My sinus is just dripping a little bit. But yeah, Olivia's confused, but she goes through it. And Golbat, survives, but we should take them out with the next hit. Sucked health from Olivia. Olivia's confused. Hit herself in confusion. Okay, that's alright. We still got quite a lot of health left. Knock on that wood. And hurt herself in confusion again. Okay, that is not ideal. But it's okay. Confused no more. And Golbat goes down. Level 15. Okay. Olivia is starting to get a little over-leveled in comparison to Coughing, but that's okay. Andrew, sorry. This Coughing does have a name. They are sending in a Fearow. Olivia just has, not only is like higher health, like a higher percentage of health left, but just has more health in general. So we're gonna keep Olivia in, because Fearow might just like, stab Fury Attack could potentially do a lot of damage. Like, that is scary. Especially when, like, okay, Coughing's defense is reasonably high, but Coughing is still like a baby. So I don't really want to set that in against a Fearow. I don't really want to swap out and have a Coughing take that hit. Like, stab something from a Fearow. Especially not for Fury Attack. Because knowing my luck, it will hit 5 times, and that's like 90 damage. But yeah, we're going into the Pokemon Center. Also, those moves, that like the multi-hitting moves, tend to have like the weirdest powers. Like, you ever realize that like everything else is like a nice round number, like 20 or 40 when you look at the power, and then it's like this one is like 18, and then you're like, oh, that's strange. But something that I realized like really recently. I shouldn't say I realized it, I got told it, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, it's like, why is it such a random number? But then, like, if it hits all 5 times, it is 90, you know? It's not like, oh, they want it to be a nice round number for every hit. They're putting it that way so that it's a nice round number when all the hits are combined. Like, I think that is interesting. Like, it does make much more sense than it just being, like, 18 for the sake of being 18. It's like, oh, 18 times 5 is 90, I think. But, we can't really touch this Magnemite. Oh, no, wait, yes we can. There is no Steel type in this gen. Frick. I said we can't touch this Magnemite, and Andrew was like, you're right. And so he didn't touch it. But, yeah. Yesterday, I started another Super Mario 3D World file, because gosh darn it, I love that game. That is my favorite Mario game. I just love the movement in that game so much. Super Mario Odyssey, hot take, not that good. I had my fun. I had a little bit of fun with it, but like on the replay, it was terrible. Like, I quit. I tried to replay it. I hated it. I tried to replay it again, still hated it. Like, it's not pleasant to replay. It's just like, there's so much story and blah blah text to it. And like, moons are just so repetitive. It's like, put this C in the pot. Put this C in the pot. Ground pound over here. Ground pound over here. Here's a pipe. Go down this pipe, and then you're in the wall, and it's 2D, and it's like, okay, that's cool, and then we're gonna do that, like, in every kingdom, and it's like, it just gets so repetitive, man. Odyssey just gets so repetitive, and I don't know how people, like, can keep replaying that game, because I couldn't even, like, replay it fully once. I feel like Odyssey's just missing something. Like, objectively it's not, because there's 890 collectible moons. Like, there's a lot of content. But, like, it just feels like something is missing. When you compare it to other Mario games, it's like, what's wrong here? Like, what went wrong here? Because something about it just seems incomplete. And I gotta say, for a long time in my life, I absolutely hated Super Mario 64 because I'm like, this game is annoying. It's like, these levels, they ask you to do, like, the most absurd stuff. Like, some of these missions are just stupid, obnoxious. And then, like, it's like, okay, the 100 coin missions are, like, they drive me crazy. Because, like, especially, oh my gosh, the freaking, what is it? Cool Mountain? That 100 coin mission had me pulling out hair. Because you just, like, misstep once, like, you go slightly too much to the right, and oops, you're flying off the mountain. You just slip right off. It's like, oh my gosh, you're making me collect 100 coins? This is like a precision activity. You're making me collect 100 coins on a slippery mountain. And the abyss is, like, right there. It's like, oh, there's a red coin over here. You just gotta go inch, but don't inch too much, otherwise you're gonna go right off the mountain. You're just gonna slip right off. And it's like, I hate this. Like, and then I'm like, can someone, like, okay. There are 3 slides in that game. Like, I get it's, like, first 3D Mario game, but, like, calm down with the slides. The first one wasn't that fun. I do like the one on, Tall Mountain now. What is it? Is that Cool Mountain? The ice one. The ice one at the beginning. I don't remember what it's called. Like, I did definitely just say Cool Mountain, because I'm like, yeah, there's definitely 2 words and then mountain somewhere in this game. I think it's Tall Mountain is what I was thinking of. I don't think it's Cool Mountain. I remember Snowman's Land, because that's a funny little pun. It's like No Man's Land, but it's Snowman. That's funny. I do love the snowman that just, like, blows you off. You have to, like, hide behind the penguin. Like, okay. Growing up, I kinda hated Super Mario 64 because I'm like, this crap is hard. I don't like this. This is really annoying. But, like, as I played more, and as I grew up, as I grew, and, like, went back to it, I'm like, not gonna lie, this game has a lot of heart. Like, this one feels good. It just feels good to play. There's a lot of movement. There's not a lot of movement techniques. There's a lot of, like, moves you can perform. It's really nice. Honestly, the missions are pretty creative. Like, for one of the first notable 3D platformers, it is very good. Like, they did a very good job. And I think that I sort of, like, looked at it in comparison to modern day Mario, when comparing it, when, like, talking about how my dislike for it, and I feel like that wasn't fair. Like, given what it was, when it was, time period in which it was created, it is very impressive. And the Nintendo 64 era, I feel, did have just a lot of bullcrap, to be blunt. Just a lot of bullcrap, where it's like, who on earth would do this? Why would you do this? Why would you make someone do this? Like, with a lot of Nintendo 64 games. It's not just Super Mario 64. And I think comparing it to other other Nintendo 64 games, rather than just comparing it to modern Mario games, you get a sense of just how good the game was. I love that, like, and you look back at it and you get the details, you know, because you look through someone speedrunning it and you're like, wow, this game is so broken. But then you actually play it yourself and you're like, oh, this makes sense, actually. Like, the story, people just skip past the story and do it in, like, an hour, and it's like 70 star, there you go. But it's like, you actually look at the story and, like, the characters, and it's actually really creative. It's like, bruh, even just, like, the first star, I don't know if it's technically the first star, but, like, the one where you, like, pound the post and the chain chomp gets released and, like, goes towards the cage and, like, unlocks the star for you, like, that's cool. I really like that. It's like, the chain chomps are always like, woof woof, bam, and, like, and then like jumping from the post. But it's just like they have all that pent up momentum that they just never get to release because it's just like tied to a post. Whoops. Yeah, they're like pent up momentum that can't get released because they're tied up to a post. Like they try to like go towards you and then they just get tied back, and it's like, and that just goes to show like they made the Champ really big in comparison to like prior games, and then they just made it like, and then when it comes towards you, it's like I got all that momentum stored up, and then it pounces, and then it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, that when you pound the post, there's nothing holding it back, so therefore all that pent-up momentum just releases. Like that kinetic energy, that potential energy just becomes kinetic energy, and that Chain Chomp is going flying towards those bars. It is really good. And like, I think that Super Mario 64 DS is really good too, but I can see the charm of the original game, absolutely. Like, Super Mario 64 DS, I love like, how they put so much emphasis on King Bob-omb's mustache. And like, I think they did something talking about Goom Boss's mustache as well. It's like, everyone in this game is obsessed with Mario's mustache, and they're like, my mustache is better! And it's like, it's really funny. And then I think that like, King Bob-omb and Goom Boss like, even mentioned like, Luigi's mustache is not as good as Mario's, and it's like, okay, that's a little rude to Luigi. And we could take, oh no, we cannot. This is super effective, isn't it? Well, Fury Attack is not super effective, but they might have a Bug type move, which would be super effective in this gen. Because normally, in future gens, obviously, Bug type is not very effective on Poison. But as I learned in a previous episode, in this gen, that is not the case. These Fury Attacks, though, are not doing a whole lot of damage. If it was coming from a Firo, it might have done a lot more. But this is coming from a Beedrill, so it's not stab. And it's just not doing a whole lot of damage. So we can take quite a few of these. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I love just like all the characters that have been built that like exist in Super Mario 64, because when it really comes down to it, like they may have been like really early characters, but they are somehow more creative than most modern day Mario characters. Like, I feel like as the Mario games have gone on, they've gotten less and less creative. And like, I think that the new Super Mario Bros. Games speak volumes about that, because they just went back to the Koopalings. Like, New Super Mario Bros. DS, they had all these different bosses, and they had a giant Goomba, and they had Petey Piranha came back in New Super Mario Bros. DS. They had like Lack-a-Thunder, which is the coolest crap ever. Like, bruh, they gave a Lakitu a thundercloud and said, yeah, he strikes lightning from above. Like, that's epic. They gave like a Monty Mole a tank. Like, Super Mario 64 DS, some great bosses. And then the next... Sorry, not Super Mario 64. New Super Mario Bros. DS has great bosses. And then the next New Super Mario Bros. Game, they just went back to the Koopalings. And it's like, why? I also don't know how much damage this next attack is going to do. I'm kind of concerned, not going to lie. I think I should just switch back to Olivia. I don't know why I switched out against the Dugong. I don't think I was really paying much attention, because Vaporeon can definitely take these hits, because that's water and ice, better than Coughing can. I guess I just didn't want to like have to slowly whittle it down, but it is definitely much safer to just have Olivia do this than expect Coughing to take Aurora Beams. But yeah, that's not very effective. Olivia takes this thing, it's just a much better answer for this thing. It takes those hits, it takes anything this thing can deal out, and we take it out. Wonderful. This trainer has 3 Pokemon, I think actually 4 maybe, which is a little worrying. It's just like, the more Pokemon a trainer has, like early on in the game, in a randomizer, yeah, it has 4 Pokemon, this trainer. Sorry, he has 4 Pokemon. Tauros. You're sending out Tauros. I think it's just best to stick with Olivia. I don't want Olivia to get too overleveled, but at the same time, we don't really have much of an option, because Coughing can only take out about 1 Pokemon before it's too low health to take out anything else, which is kind of a problem. But, you know, baby Pokemon, what can I say? Little baby. But, yeah. Just like, Koopa the Quick is just a fantastic character, and you can see like them emulating that even in Super Mario Odyssey, like, because they have now these like Koopa races in that game, and it's just like, they really don't want to let go of this idea. Like, this was a good idea. Like, the Wiggler in Super Mario 64, like, it's just a Wiggler, but it has so much character. He's like, oh, you flooded my home, now I'm gonna beat your ass! And so, he's like, like, you know, he's got, like, angered by the star. He's just like a normal Wiggler. Like, Wigglers have a habit of getting angry, but this one isn't just, like, regular Wiggler angry. Angry. Not like regular Wiggler angry, where it's just like, oh, he turns red and he's racing around, like, super fast. Like, this is a very angry Wiggler who is powered up by star power because you just flooded his home. Like, it just makes sense, you know? Like, oh, you pounded down into the mountain, and above that mountain, and you did it in, like, a lake thing, like a pool of water. You pounded down, and so all the water drains into the Wiggler's home. It just, like, it makes sense. It's, like, it's very clever. Like, the storytelling in Super Mario 64 is very clever. And I feel like in later Mario games, it's kind of lacking that, where it just, like, it makes sense. It's like, characters come back, and it makes sense. And this world they're building up makes sense. It's like, in Super Mario Sunshine, they're like, oh yeah, Petey Piranha's just in this tower. It's like, why? I don't know. He's on the windmill, though. And they're like, oh yeah, this place is filled with the baby chain chomps. And it's like, why? Who knows? But you gotta wrangle them. It's like, it just feels like Super Mario 64 has, like, actually good, like, story missions. Like, story-driven missions. In Super Mario Galaxy, it is kind of like, just go this way and do this thing. It is a very, linear game by comparison to other 3D Mario games before it. But at least, like, Super Mario Sunshine, unlike Super Mario Sunshine, it made sense. I think, people love Super Mario Sunshine. And, like, to each their own. I definitely get, like, all the Mario games. Like, Mario games are just good. Especially 3D Mario is, like, really good. But I do favor the 2D Mario typically, which is why Super Mario 3D World is my favorite game, is because that's like 3D Mario, but it's also 2D Mario, but it's like 2D Mario style. I just don't, like, I think that it's cool, these whole missions they send you through in, like, the 3D Mario games, where it's like, oh, go into the painting, or go into the shine, and then do this, and then you come back later, and there's another shine and or star to get. It's like different quests in the same level. I think that's, like, a really cool idea, but I just like how the 2D ones play. I do just prefer the playstyle of 2D Mario. So, to take that and put it in a 3D world, a literal 3D world, Super Mario 3D World is just fantastic. I grew up with Super Mario 3D Land, didn't get very far in it. I did not ever have a Wii U, so, and then I watched people playing Super Mario 3D World on YouTube, and I was like, bro, this, and me having played Super Mario 3D Land so much, never finished it, but having played it so much, I'm like, Super Mario 3D World, this crap is awesome. Like, this is awesome, this is amazing. I don't believe this, like, 5 characters? I only got 2, I only got Mario and Luigi with my silly little Super Mario 3D Land. Super Mario 3D World, they got Mario, they got Luigi, they got Peach, they got Toad, they got Rosalina. Like, this crap looks amazing. And I'm sitting there, just like, wow. And when I finally got it on the Switch, boy did it live up to just, like, expectations. I was worried it wouldn't, because I don't hear people talk about Super Mario 3D World that much. And people are like, oh yeah, Super Mario 64 is best Mario game. People are like, oh, I really like Odyssey, which is like, okay, yeah, okay, you're a speedrunner. Because the game is just, like I said, not very fun to play through repeatedly. If you want to, like, master your speedrun tactics, then it's like, fine, just keep playing through Super Mario Odyssey. Like, Super Mario Odyssey, for a speedrunner, I'm sure it's a great game. It looks like a great game. It looks like there's a lot of skips that can be performed. Anyway, I feel like it's a very interesting speedrun. But at the same time, and there's so many, like, speedrun, different types of speedruns you can do with Super Mario Odyssey. It's like Super Mario 64, where there's just, like, so many different speedruns. It's just such a, like, there's so much to it, that game, these games, where it's like, okay, yeah, you can do a bunch of different, like, types of speedruns. You can do, like, 100%, which is like, okay, you want to suffer. You can do 100%. You could do, like, 70 star. You could do, like, 16 star, I think. You could do, like, 0 star, which is, like, I don't think has a lot of runners, because I think it's, like, really difficult. But it is possible, because Super Mario 64 is just such a broken game. But, like, hey, that's to be expected, because it's their first attempt at 3D Mario, you know? It's like, I think that everything that's bad about Super Mario 64 should be taken with a grain of salt, and just, like, identify with the fact that it's their first attempt. Like, this is where it all started, and if you look at it like that, then it is a good game. it is a very good game. It is a fantastic first attempt. Looking back at it now, you could definitely see the problems, but as a first attempt at 3D Mario, it was fantastic. And I think it took me a while to view it that way, but now that I've played through it, finally beaten it for myself, I can say, looking back on it, that I had a lot of fun with it. Like, I genuinely can see why people remember the game so fondly now. That being said, we are getting close to the trainer that did us in last time, and I want to take her out this episode, just so I can say I am officially past where I was before. However, I don't think we're doing that this episode. This episode is already running on quite a bit. It is at the 25-minute mark, which is where I plan to end these episodes. However, it hasn't been going like that, has it? So we're gonna take out this Grimer, and then I don't know if this trainer has another Pokemon. If they do, we'll obviously take out that next. But I think we might have to go back and heal before we take out this next trainer, just because, like, I'm worried. I'm not taking any chances. I'm gonna keep going back and healing. I also want to accumulate money. I don't want to use potions. Like, I know I could just heal up with potions before encountering that next trainer, but I don't. You're freaking kidding me. Are you serious? Uh-oh. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's, first off, just go for a sand attack. Right out the gate. Oh, it has Swift. That's wonderful. We have potions. This is okay. This is what we've been saving the potions for. This is why we haven't been using the sub potions to save out of battle. To heal out of battle. Because then if we use those to heal out of battle, then it would have been, like, absolutely, tragic to get here. And then be like, well, we need potions. Now we don't have any. Let's see if Water Gun does more. Because I don't think it is going to do more. But, because Mewtwo's special defense is so high, but, like, oh my gosh, yeah, okay, it's a critical hit, that makes sense. But we are, oh my, okay. I hope Psychic doesn't just kill me, but it might from this range. But I don't really, like, oh my gosh. It missed! It missed! It missed! It missed! It missed! That's why you keep going for Swift, Mewtwo, because some damage is better than none. Let's go! Mewtwo goes down. That is revenge. That is vengeance. We are back, baby. We killed the Mewtwo. Vengeance is a dish best served with water. Always drink water with your vengeance. Coca-Cola just won't do it for vengeance. Like soda? No. Soda is not like a vengeance type of thing. Water is the thing you drink with your vengeance. When you serve up vengeance on a silver platter to your opponent, you serve it with water. They drunk it. They drunk it? They swallow it down with water. Man, my throat really hurts. my throat is not up to this. The back drip is too much, guys. The mucus dripping down my throat, just too much. But, yeah, I think we'll just end it off here, because we've had a good episode, and gosh darn it, I really want to fight this trainer coming up, but, like, let's end it off here. Guys, EV Clan, make sure you like and subscribe for more, and have a great day. This is Alex Espion, signing off.